Imagine living in a time where the answer to nearly every illness was pouring your lifeblood out into a bowl. Yes, what's inside your veins was seen as the source of all problems. What I'm talking about here is the ancient practice known as bloodletting, a medical treatment so strange it went from being a ritual of health to a grim reminder of how much we didn't know about science. In fact, bloodletting was an idea so compelling that it persisted for over 2,000 years. And it wasn't just a superstitious local remedy. It swept through civilizations from ancient Egypt to Renaissance Europe and even colonial America. Let's rewind to where it all began. Around 400 BCE, Greek physician Hippocrates, often regarded as the father of modern medicine, proposed the theory of the four humors: blood, phlegm, yellow bile, and black bile. Balance these fluids, he said, and you'll be healthy. Sounds simple, right? Except when things went wrong, doctors believed you could simply remove the excess, especially, you guessed it, blood. What better way than puncturing a vein or slicing open skin to fix the imbalance? The methods were as unsettling as they were varied. One common approach was venesection, cutting into a vein to drain precise amounts of blood into ceremonial bowls. Imagine the sight. A medieval barber carefully slicing a vein while customers lined up, expecting their yearly cleanse. Oh, and that red and white striped barber's pole? Yes, that traces its origin back to this grisly tradition. It once represented blood-stained bandages swirling in wind. Feeling queasy yet? But wait, it gets worse. Another tool of the trade: leeches. Those slimy, wriggling creatures became unsung heroes, or villains, of early medicine. Placing them on your skin to draw contaminated blood was considered sophisticated. By the 19th century, French physicians loved leeches so much that at one point, Paris imported 40 million of these creepy crawlers annually. Just imagine you think you've got a headache and someone places a jar of leeches beside you. Suddenly, painkillers don't sound so bad, do they? Bloodletting wasn't reserved for obscure illnesses or poor patients. No, even kings and queens fell victim to this bizarre ritual. Take King Charles II of England, for example. In his final days, his doctors conducted extensive bloodletting, taking over 2 pints of vital blood in a desperate attempt to cure his ailments. It didn't work. Spoiler alert, losing nearly a third of your blood didn't cure much of anything. But here's where it turns truly sinister. At its peak during the Middle Ages, bloodletting was sometimes used not just for health, but as a preventative measure against things like miasma or bad air, believed to cause plagues. That's right, people willingly weakened themselves during outbreaks of disease. Imagine fighting off deadly pathogens while missing a bucket load of your lifeblood. Yet the practice was stubbornly persistent, thanks to some respected figures in history who championed it. Galen, a Roman physician in the 2nd century CE, adopted and spread Hippocrates' humor theory, cementing bloodletting's reputation as a cure-all. For over a millennium, doctors adhered to this misunderstood science, wielding lancets and leeches like magical wands. And just when you think we'd outgrow such a macabre idea, guess what? In parts of colonial America, even the founding fathers weren't immune. George Washington, riddled with a throat infection, famously underwent aggressive bloodletting to cure him. Over the course of 12 hours, physicians removed 40% of his blood. Tragically, this likely contributed to his death. Bloodletting's demise wasn't sudden, but gradual. By the 19th century, advances in germ theory and modern science began debunking humor-based medicine. Physicians started to understand just how harmful it was to drain someone's lifeblood unnecessarily. New data-driven approaches replaced the guesswork, and by the 20th century, bloodletting became a medical oddity rather than a treatment. But as creepy as it sounds, bloodletting hasn't entirely disappeared. Certain rare diseases like hemochromatosis, which involves excess iron in the blood, still use controlled blood removal as a legitimate medical solution today. And yes, leeches do occasionally appear in carefully regulated surgeries. Yet it's worth reflecting on the past, on the sheer scale of how one misguided theory led to countless hours of suffering and countless lives drained away. How many people bled away hope simply because the science wasn't there yet. And that's just one of history's strangest medical stories. Want more? Hit that subscribe button and join us on the next journey into the eerie, bizarre, and downright creepy chapters of medical history.